Up front tonight, more on our child abduction week. We talked about not talking to strangers, but we're going to focus now on stranger safety tips for your child and for parents. So parents, I want you to sit down and listen. This is very important. And I'm going to this is from parents.com/kids/stranger safety rules for stranger safety. You're always happy to see your child bounce with another kid on the playground and make a new pal, but it's a very when your preschool approaches an adult he doesn't know and starts chatting away. Social skills independence blossom at ages 4 and 5. It depends on the age of 6. It makes these years prime time to talk about safety. Many parents don't know exactly what to say. Young kids can be frightening if you don't choose your words carefully. They can misrepresent well-intentioned warnings about strangers, secrets, and their safety issues. So it's smart to establish specific rules and explain them in a non-threatening way. If you're feeling tongue-tied, this advice can get the ball rolling. Instead of saying don't talk to strangers, you need to say, like, check with me or your dad or your babysitter before talking to another grown-up. The concept of stranger can be hard for a young child to grasp. For instance, your kid may see the clerk at the bank more often than he sees his aunt who lives across the country. So rather than rely on a 4-year-old's interpretation, the advice that it's best to have your child get permission from you before he strikes up a conversation or goes anywhere with an adult other than his parents. You should instruct your child to ask if it's okay to look at you and you'll nod or shake your head. Instead, if you get lost in the store, ask your trusted friend to help you find me. Just say something like, if you get lost in the store, stay in the building and find someone with a name tag to help you. Now, go on better. Start teaching your child his first and last name, his parents' first and last names, and family phone numbers, and you can give them to you, the employee. Most kids can begin learning these facts at age 4 and master them at age 5. Instead of saying don't take candy for a stranger, say don't take anything from anyone except your parents, babysitter, teacher, or friend's mom, dad on a play date. So when you warn them not to accept candy likely to interpret, it also means that they shouldn't be taking a balloon or crowns. It's best to tell your child to check with you before attempting anything. To make sure your kids get it, you need to role play a few scenarios. Like the videos, like one of the videos that we saw. We're probably going to show them again to you in a sec. Even your daughter says no thanks, she'll see how when she's pushed the counter. I actually want to say if it's okay and see whether to hold firm. Instead of saying don't leave my sight, don't go where you can't see me. Also, instead of saying don't keep secrets, a surprise is the secret and the way to keep. At every age. What to teach kids for the first and last name, your full name. Don't go anywhere except with anything for them to get in a car with anyone. Never without your permission, period. At 5 to 7, it's about your cell phone number. You can ring your more quickly if you get separated. Keep a safe list. That's for 5 and 7. 8-year-olds, an easy to find meeting place, more specific location, the better if you get separated. A buddy or sibling come along places like a bathroom, places your child is starting to visit independently. It's more safety in numbers. So that's all there is to know about stranger safety tips for teens and kids. But Joey Salads has a lot more social experiments. To talk about this, so I'm going to play you guys a video. I'm going to play you guys a video from Joey Salads from child abduction in a car so that y'all can understand. Like, if you listen to the video, you can understand better so that when stuff like this happens, then we can make sure we know what we're doing to teach our kids. Because if you're letting them talk to strangers, problems are out in the real world. That's absolutely not true. It's unacceptable. It's wrong. You do it, and then get yourself in a lot of trouble. So what we have to do as parents is make sure that we know where our child is at all times. I mean, if your child's on guardianship, they let you go out. It's your job as a parent to make sure that they know where they're at all times. No excuses. So, let's take a look.
What's up guys, Joey Salads here. And what would your child do if someone pulled up with a nice car and tried to abduct them? I reached out to a few parents and we're going to try just that. But I'm going to be using my Bumblebee car. Let's see how these children react. Alright guys, I'm on my way to this house. There's 3 kids. I got my camera guys there set up. Got a camera on the mom, a camera on the kids. So let's see what happens. You like the car? You guys want to come for a ride in the car? It's the car from the Transformers.
Sure.
Come on, get in, let's go. You want to sit in the front?
No.
You're not allowed to sit in the front. Where's mom and dad? Did they say you were allowed to do this? Mom and dad didn't say you could do this? Why'd you get in the car? You want me to bring you back?
Yeah.
What if I wasn't going to bring you back?
I don't know.
Alright.
What are you doing? Why'd you get in that car, Brandon? Why did you get in that car? Why did you get in that car? Look at him. Do you know him? Look at him. Do you know him? You don't know, right? Why'd you go in that car? Huh? What if he took you away and you didn't see mommy anymore? You don't leave the front yard, got it? All right? And you especially don't get in anybody's car. Okay? And you two should have known better.
Hey, what's up, guys? Wanna go for a ride?
And then the kids did the right thing.
They just ran away. That's good.
That's the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's the Transformers car, the Bumblebee. You guys wanna go for a ride? Someone's gonna have to get shotgun. Holy crap. It's like you got shotgun. This car's fast. You guys just jumped in this car. Where's your mom and dad? They're inside, I don't see them. They know you're in the car?
No.
What if I wasn't gonna bring you back?
You would have.
I'm gonna bring you back.
What would have happened?
Just know next time you don't just run in someone's car like that, alright? Alright?
Exactly.
Guys, so just don't do that again, alright? As you can see from this video, some children are very gullible. Be sure to give your children a talk on not talking to strangers. Give this video a like and subscribe for more videos just like this. I'm Joey Salads, and be safe.
Exactly. The main lesson is don't get in their car. Don't go with them at all times. You need to make sure that you know what you're doing. And our next one coming up on Wednesday, it's all about the 3-minute, 40-minute video, which I'm going to show you next week. I mean, not next week, tomorrow, on Wednesday. So we talked about the ice cream truck scenario. We talked about the don't get in the car. Now we're also going to be talking about the child abduction. That's tomorrow. And we'll have more going to be week and here's what we have. Here's what we're going to do coming up. In just a moment, we're going to show you a school that marks unvaccinated students and hands at prom, just like in the scarlet letter. And then a bit later in this broadcast, we're going to tell you about passenger flight fight. All that's coming up. Now to something I think you guys want to hear about. Imagine this. You go to prom. It's the best night of your life during this pandemic. You go to prom and yet you don't want to get vaccinated. But yet you don't get vaccinated, so they place a marker. It's like this. They put like this. The U means unvaccinated. Now using a different colored marker, if you're vaccinated, then this can happen. But for the unvaccinated people, you'd have to be told to go like this. Could this be happening? Well, that's what happened in one school. Here's Inside Edition to give you the very latest.
It's an idea one high school came up with to have a safe prom in the age of COVID, but it has some parents up in arms. Unvaccinated students were singled out with a marking on their hand written with a black Sharpie. As Jim Murray reports, it reminds some of being branded like the Scarlet Letter.
We've seen how prom night in the age of COVID looks a lot different this year. But at this prom in New Hampshire, there is outrage over how unvaccinated students were singled out and branded with a Sharpie. Teachers used a black Sharpie to mark the hands with the letter U on students who were unvaccinated and used a red Sharpie with the letter V for those who were vaccinated. Adding to the fury, students were told to hold up their hands every 3 songs to identify who was vaccinated and who wasn't.
I was receiving really angry messages from parents who just couldn't believe what had happened.
The school defended its decision, stating, "We needed to have a contact tracing system in place. Students who were unable to provide a vaccination card had a mark written on their hand." Today, despite all this good news, 300 people are still dying from COVID every day in the USA, and a grim milestone is at hand. More than 600,000 COVID-related deaths. Infectious disease specialist Dr. William Schaffner.
Frankly, I'm just a little concerned because this Delta variant is very contagious and it causes more severe disease. Now, fortunately, the vaccine will prevent it.
But there's still resistance to the vaccine among healthcare workers. These nurses in Houston are refusing to get vaccinated, even though they've been warned they could be fired.
There's definitely not been enough research done yet.
I don't want to get this vaccine because I do not believe it has been through the proper trials.
I believe, as with the other ladies, there's just not enough research done.
President Biden had these words at the NATO summit in Brussels.
If you've not been vaccinated, get vaccinated. Get vaccinated as soon as possible.
Here's my opinion about this. If you're gonna have a good time at high school prom, just have a good time. If you're not, just have a sign that says, if you're not vaccinated, wear a mask. If you're vaccinated, you can come in and not have your mask. But after 3 songs, you have to do this? Give me a break. It's like 1 song, next one, Okay. Next one. Okay. That is unacceptable. And I did this for a reason, just to show you. Imagine if you did that at work. People look at you funny. People look at you like that. If you weren't vaccinated, they would urge you to get that vaccine. But when you see this mark, the letter U, that means you're unvaccinated. If you did that, people did that at work, and the cuss words were no, hate mail would happen. And the school defendants saying, if we have a same problem, if you don't have the vaccination cards, then this is what happens. This is not the scarlet letter we're talking about here. If you're gonna have a safe kind of problem, you gotta have some safety issues that we have. Social distancing, mask wearing, bring your own drinks. Nobody understands. The school was like, okay, let's just if we don't get vaccination cards, let's just get a black Sharpie and a red Sharpie and mark it on the back of their hand. I hope this case is taken before a court of law. That was unacceptable. If they settle out of this, don't make them settle. For those of you in New Hampshire who saw this, I agree with you. That was unacceptable. And for those who emailed the, what's her name? Then I'd have to agree with them. It's unacceptable. Can't do that. So if you get your vaccination card, put it in your wallet, and if you lost it, I mean, what happens if you lose your vaccination card? We're going to tell you about that next. After I wash off my hands. We've been focusing on the school that marks its students with a Sharpie that's U for unvaccinated, V for vaccinated. That's because they don't have those cards. But the question is, if you lose it, if you lost your card, if you lost it, what should you do? Why shouldn't you be letting another important info from health.com? Dr. Anthony Fauci, Director of National Institute of Allergy and Infectious, has said that people may also get asked to get a third dose of Pfizer or Moderna to get a booster shot in the next 6 to 12 months, which will also be added to your vaccine card. So again, you want to make sure your healthcare provider has easy access to it. The elimination process can also mess with the pen per ink. For now, you can easily protect it with any vaccination card size shoe protectors that have started popping up online. If you lost it, you need to take a picture of it. Make sure to snap a photo in both the front and the back of the card on your cell phone. Then store the photo in your camera roll, upload it to an easy accessible place like Apple Cloud, Google Drive, or Dropbox, and even email it to yourself for a trusted emergency contact. That's what I do. If I lose my ticket or misplaced it, I have it on my Google Drive. Another thing, don't post on social media. It's tempting to share your hashtag, just vax card, selfie on social media. Even doctors do it. Many healthcare providers, such as myself, rush to do this early phases of the vaccination process to help promote the vaccine. Remember, your card contains a lot of personal info, such as your full name, date of birth, when you got your vaccine, the date you had it all. That can all be used for identification. So don't post on social media. Your card contains a lot, but remember, it's an identification. It looks like a puzzle. Don't lose it. But if you missed it, here's what you can do. You want to keep your vaccine card safe because it's going to be a major pain to replace it if it goes missing in action. If you happen to lose your card, check back to the clinic, pharmacy, or hospital you received your immunization. And they may have some more record. If it's not an option, the CDC recommends contacting your safe health departments. Immunization information system. Your info should be added to that registry when you get vaccinated. They also have a program called VSID you can sign up for. It's to track post-vaccine side effects and symptoms through a smartphone. Register and get your first vaccine. The program will keep track of vaccination information so you can access it later. Store it in a safe place. No set guidelines when you need to show your vaccine card. You don't need to carry it on you at all times. Soon it will more important to demonstrate proof of vaccination, whether that's for any office buildings, schools, transportation services, or visiting resorts, venues, or amusement parks. They recently started allowing large-scale venues like sports to host certain percentage of vaccine or capacity as long as all attendees presented proof of negative COVID-19 test or complete vaccination before entry. When you're not going somewhere that requires you to show the hard copy, keep your vaccine card somewhere safe. If you keep in mind a passport, keeping a card in a place where stores like one dread social security card or certificates makes a lot of sense. So, if you lose your card, basically consult your pharmacy. So again, if you lose it, basically you can check back at the clinic, pharmacy, or hospital where you received the immunization, and they can have a record. If they delete the record, if it's not an option, you can contact the health department's immunization information system. You call them and tell them you got vaccinated on this day, and they should have it on the record. If they're not, you're screwed. And the program called V-Safe. If you and you should have that card with you at all times. If you have the vaccine card and they ask you, have you been vaccinated? You need to show them the card. If you lost it, you need to go back to the pharmacy or the clinic where you got you vaccinated, and they may have a formal record. It's really important to have your card. So if you don't have your card, you should be able to obtain a replacement through the vaccine provider, and you should also receive a replacement through the vaccine provider. They recommend taking a photo. Make sure you place on your Google Drive. If they hack your Google account and they find out, you're screwed. Change your password. Hang on to your card to keep it safe in your wallet. Again. But if you roll a V-Safe or a VaxTex, you can also access your COVID-19 vaccine via those tools. Those resources cannot serve your virtual vaccination records. You still need to obtain a replacement card. If you don't have the card, again, you need to get it replaced from your clinic or pharmacy. Those are the ones that can really help. That's the latest of COVID-19, and now I'll have a panel, and we'll have more in just a moment. Weeks ago, I told you about the story about 6 people who were arrested for hazing in Orange Grove. Now they're going to have an athletic program. So let me play for you guys.
Grove Independent School District is rolling out a plan that it says is going to help reduce bullying on its campuses. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Kat Dudiak.
And I'm Paul Mueller. All of this stemming from that recent hazing incident at Orange Grove High School. 6 students later landing in jail for that. And tonight, our Javier Guerra picks up the story from there.
In hopes of preventing bullying and hazing, the school district will implement a Big Brother, Big Sister program. It's all part of the new athletics supervision plan. Orange Grove ISD will be implementing 3 main points into their plan. The first is that whenever there are students in the locker rooms, there will be an adult present or by the door frequently communicating with the players so that they know they are being monitored. There will also be student-athlete community-led lessons during athletics period. Additionally, the school district will implement a Big Brother, Big Sister program with the help of the Coastal Bend office and the headquarters in San Antonio.
You start to build that asset and care about people's feelings and care about people. Bullying is no longer a factor. That's not something that you want to do. When you start to create those friendships and that bonding with people.
Kimberly Bettis, director of the Big Brother Big Sister Coastal Bend office, says that creating this bond will help curb bullying.
Whether Orange Grove is the only area that does it or another area, I think it would be absolutely beneficial for the children in the community.
The program will mimic one from a San Antonio high school. Orange Grove ISD will be the first in the Coastal Bend to implement the Big Brother Big Sister program in hopes that this will benefit the students. One Orange Grove resident told us that this is a step in the right direction and students can call out bullying when they see it.
If someone's picking on you, because I was bullied as a kid, it ain't fun being that kid, Get out there and stop the bullying. It needs to come to an end.
I reached out to Orange Grove Superintendent Randy Hoyer, who told us he had no further comment. For the full press release, you can head to our website. That's christv.com. Reporting in Orange Grove, Javier Guerra, Chris 6 News.
And tomorrow, and Wednesday on the show, we're gonna read to you. I'm gonna read to you the thing that they posted, and our stranger and our child next week continues. As always, just give me a break Monday. We'll see you again. We give me a break Wednesday. Have a good night, everyone. Follow us here on YouTube. Take care of yourself and each other. Stay safe. Good night.